So, we're going to talk about the prodigal son. So, the prodigal son is a story about a son who, wanted his dad's money. He wanted to be able to leave and do what he wanted to do with the money that he was going to get. Because even though he knew he was going to get the money when his father died, he said he'd rather have it earlier and be able to do whatever he wanted to because he thought that, that he knew everything at the time. There's this old, like, what do you call it? Like a sign that my grandmother had that said, "Move out of your parents' house while you know everything." And you can, I can't remember exactly what it said, but basically it's kind of saying like, hey, like just move out of your parents' house because you know everything right now and you're so smart. Kind of being like sarcastic in a way. And it kind of relates to the prodigal son, because he thought he knew everything. He thought he knew what he wanted to do or what he could do with his money, and he wasn't that smart. He wasn't as smart as he thought he was. And so he ends up, in the pits with the pigs. He ends up poor. He ends up having no money after all because he squanders it all. He, loses it all. So basically, it's like the main point in the moral of the story is that we may think we know what we want for ourselves, but I think that at the end of the day, we really don't know what we want for ourselves. So we kind of have to allow God to, let his divine plan flourish in our lives, I guess you could say. Because if we allow that to happen, I think we'll appreciate more what we get from, from our lives than we would if we actually tried to plan it. And I think there's one funny saying that says, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So I always thought that was hilarious, and it's true because, a lot of times we think that we know what we want and we know what's best for us. But at that time, do we really think that that's what's best for us? Because does God think that we're able to handle those things? Does God think that we're in the right mindset, that we're in the right place at the time to be like, either whether it be in a relationship or that job or, just even being at the right place at the right time? And I think that in our contemporary world, I think it would be something more along the lines of like, knowing that you have some money there, knowing that it'd be like if I told my mom today, hey, you know what, just give me my inheritance right now. Like if I can get it, just give it to me, because you know what, I know what I'm going to do with it, and then end up losing it all and end up back, coming back and my mom still forgiving me no matter what. I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of the same thing regardless of throughout the time, whether the time changes or not. It's not really not really a thing of time. I think it's more of the fact that just the places that happen. So yeah, I think it's an important lesson to learn on these things, and to be able to think that I think Jesus would probably say, in a contemporary world, he would probably put it as like, okay, let's say that, Manuel had two sons. Okay. One son he had stock. Let's just say he had stock, right? He had stock in Apple. And then the other son had stock in, I don't know, let's just say Walmart, right? Walmart's not as expensive as Apple, but yet if he had more money in Apple, right, the other son would say, hey, I want it, right, because it's worth more. Then he takes it and then he sells it, and then he blows it all and loses all his Apple stock, and he has no more Apple stock and nothing to fall back on. But the other son takes that Walmart stock, sells it, invests it in Apple, and now he's got more money because Apple's going up. Apple's worth more now, and so on and so forth. So the other son would be the smarter one, obviously, because he invested in something, and the other son lost everything because he didn't know how to invest his stocks. So I think that kind of like a little bit more contemporary, I would say. So I think it's pretty interesting how the moral of the story is, you got to be smart and know where you're putting things at, know what you're doing with, whether it be money, whether it be materialistic things, whether it be like things in your life, is knowing where those things are going, where you're putting your effort and your energy into. That's going to get you something, that's going to benefit your life in return. So, yeah.